Hi there, Stephanie Stevenson here, otherwise known as Watercolor Artiste and the artist at midlifeartist.com. And welcome to this week's Wednesday, Work in Progress Wednesday. And I'm still working on this beast. I worked on it a lot last night, although you wouldn't know it because of the details that are required, but I've been using a lot of small brushes for this. And so progress doesn't seem to be measured in big, broad strokes, but in the small details. I'll show you what I did here shortly. But again, welcome. If you are joining me from Rumble, which is the one I know how to work the best. Hello there. I gotta get my rumbles going here so I can keep track of chat. Okay. And I gotta turn down my volume on that. There we go. And then I also have my YouTube up as well on my computer. So if there is chat in YouTube, I can toggle back and forth between that and my studio. So anyway, welcome aboard. Again, I am Stephanie with midlifeartist.com, and I have been trying to evaluate. Well, okay, so some people who follow me online know that I talked about this earlier today on my social media, that I got new spectacles, new glasses. They're a little more, excuse me, artsy fartsy than my other ones. Let's see if I can get. They got color to them. So my second day of wearing them, I have a slight headache with them, but otherwise, hi Frosty in Rumble, how are you? Glad you can join me. And yeah, so I got my new spectacles, a little artsy, a little fartsy, you know, whatever. I gotta get a haircut. My bangs are too long. Anyhow, I'm a mess, a hot mess, but that's what Wednesdays are for me, a hot mess. Um, but yeah, so tonight's goal is just to keep painting away, chit-chatting, talking about kind of what I've been doing now that the summer and fall seasons are kind of coming to a close, uh, and some researching of art shows and the like, kind of just kind of rehashing what I've got to accomplish in the coming months if I want to try to get there for next year, since I missed the boat on so many this year for various reasons. Ah, hi, and Fennel here. Can you see them? They got the color to them. I don't know. So yes, my new spectacles. Ah, yeah, yeah. So and of course I'm a little warm, but anyway, let me show you what I got. Oh, this is a camcorder view of the painting. Last night I worked on her dress and her feet here. And then I also worked on this dress, and I worked on their faces and their arms a little bit. I don't know if I can get that to, let's see if it'll zoom in. Got paint on this little remote. That's about as close as it gets. Oh, okay, there we go. Let's see. Okay, there it goes. Let's see if I can show you. So I worked on the dresses. I started working on her feet here. I got this dress going, and then I started working on this dress here. And then I worked on their faces some more, which I think I rendered them better than they had been. So yeah, so that's kind of where that is. Yeah, my remote doesn't want to work as well, so I'm going to pull this back and readjust it. Yowza. Yes, this is not professional productions here. Thank you very much. Thank you. Yeah, I just to let you know, I I show you where I've been working because it's hard to tell each time I come on because there's no big broad strokes. I have worked a little bit on the background here to get it a little darker so that this arm pops out because of the original source pic. Let me see if I can show that. My I got a slight cough. It's an annoying upper respiratory one. I'm not sure why, so I'm going to try not to cough too much. But you can see um, that the sky actually is a little darker behind the middle dancer's arm than what I had showed. So um, I'm trying to get that darker and get her arm brighter. But, but yeah, so there we go. Just check on my YouTube. Yeah, no YouTube chatters, but that's okay. If someone comes on, I'll check it out later. But anyway, I have been using the smallest of brushes. I'm going to show you just how small, and that's why my progress. See that? Smallest of brushes. Anyway, because these areas here require these small brushes in order to get the detail right. So yeah, yes, this one is a color challenge for sure. But yeah, so I was working on this, working on that. I want to get working on their feet here. I want to try to get some brighter yellows right against the front of her feet. They kept blending last night when I was working on them. I also worked a little on this glass surface that they seem to be dancing on. And I think I might even work a little bit more on the underside of here. As you can tell, I'm avoiding this spot because it's the most challenging one and I wanted it to dry again before I tackled it. Um, so yeah, I keep bouncing back and forth. I need to accentuate, I need to fix her arm as well. Um, but yeah, so, and of course my camcorder doesn't it washes out the colors that are actually on this painting. So yeah, you guys are into the small brushes. I like to use, I'll show you the kind of brushes I like to use typically. And I have these out and I don't know why, because I can't really use them at this point on this painting. But I mean, these are the kind that I'm used to using. These are much bigger, as you can see. But that's okay. I may be drinking a lot of water to, I don't know what's going on with me. I got this upper respiratory thing and I have to constantly clear my throat. So I don't know if there's something in the air or if I've come down with something. I don't have any fever. I don't have any other issues. I do think I have postnasal drip because I end up having a lot of sinus problems. Um, so I think that could be what's happening. It's going down my throat and causing upper respiratory aggravation. Yeah, well, the bigger the canvas and fennel, the bigger the brushes. And this is actually a a big canvas. This is so far the same size of my biggest painting. My biggest painting is the one of my husband dressed as a chef, about ready to catch falling vegetables off of a veggie pileup in a big teacup. I did it last year, and it's 24 inches by 36 inches. This is the same size, but in landscape. So this is the biggest canvas that I've worked on in recent years. Well, decades really. I'm usually in 24 by 30, 24 by 30, 22 by 28. Yeah, in that range. So, but despite the fact that this is such a big canvas, I got smaller figures, which means smaller brushes. Um, Before I started the live stream, I had to kick my cat out because she kept wanting to sit in my chair, and I couldn't do that because uh, I need to sit down to do this. So anyway, all right. So I tried to get a hookup to view my palette, and at the last minute, it wouldn't show video. And I don't know why. So I disconnected that. I'll have to work on that. I used to be able to have that no problem. And some of my palette probably needs refreshing. I got some paints already starting to set up again, which I don't care for. Uh, but anyway, so yeah, we're going to work on, I think I'm going to work a little bit on here because that's easy to see without me being in the way. And try to get those feet more. And then these feet, I might try to define this dance surface a little bit more. And then if I'm lucky and there's time left, I will start working again on here because this seems a little off to me. I'm trying to stay true to the picture, but I like paint what you see, not what you know. Paint what you see, not what you know. Yeah, reminding myself. So 18 by 24 canvas and 12 by 16. Okay. I've worked on, I think the smallest canvas that I've worked on is, well, 16 by 20, I think. But I do have one, and I'm kind of, is a picture of my son, a painting, an acrylic painting of him when he was a little kid. That I don't think is 16 by 20. I think that's 12 by 18. I can't tell, but it's that smallest one, and I was doing small um, to try my hand at acrylics because up until recent years, I wasn't doing acrylics. I didn't work with acrylics. I had to kind of teach myself. We didn't learn acrylics, and I don't know if you've watched on the shows where Lady Hamilton talks about how um, she didn't learn half the things she's learning now in school, and she's even got a master's, I believe she said. And I only have a bachelor's in art, so I took 4-year degree, and it's bachelor's in studio art. And half the stuff, more than half the stuff that I've learned in these last 3 years, I've learned more than in the full 4 years of formal college education. So it's um, definitely not worth it to go to a 4-year college if they're not going to teach you these things. They certainly didn't teach how to market yourself. And of course, back in the time that I was in college, um, online wasn't a thing. Influencing wasn't a thing. It was how to do a portfolio and then supposedly how to get into a gallery or whatever. They didn't even talk about how you should build up a body of work. I don't, I never got a class on how to create a portfolio that's professional to submit to an art gallery. We weren't taught how to do an artist statement, none of that. So yeah, it was uh, definitely um, not the same. Maybe they do that now in college, in art school, college, but not when I was in college. And part of me is very upset that they um, my my parents paid for my college education. I was blessed. Both my parents worked um, hard, and they both um, wanted to make sure that I would um, get my degree and that I would be able to do something with it. But again, my mouse is acting wonky. Uh, that's my source picture. I'm going to put it up here so y'all can see it. There we go. You're a self-taught YouTuber. Well, nowadays that's actually pretty good. I mean, there's a lot of YouTubers that teach some really great stuff. I have I have no qualms about what people do on YouTube, and if you can teach it online and get a following, that's awesome. I can excuse me. I actually can teach probably biblical prophecy in the Bible because that's what I've done in the past at my churches back in New Hampshire and then now down here in Georgia. Well, yeah, in Georgia, I did some teaching. But in terms of art, even though I've got a degree, I don't feel like I'm qualified to teach anybody anything. So, so yeah. Anyway, let me get going. I want to do some highlights here. Let's see here. Yeah. So yeah, I wish I had the ability to do music in the background because that would be kind of cool. But I'm afraid of the copyright infringement stuff, and so I don't know what's what with that. I don't know enough. So so yeah, I apologize. I got like no background music whatsoever. So yeah, let's see if I can get some highlight on this foot because there really is a highlight on that foot. Same here. And then there's some back highlights here. Believe it or not, on that foot, I don't know why, but in the photo, the back side of this foot isn't as dark as the middle. I think maybe what I need to do is bring a little bit of darkness in the darkest spot of that foot too. Oh man. Let's see here. I'm gonna look at my big screen. My mouse keeps. I gotta get a new mouse, or I gotta clean out the mouse that I have because it is not doing what it's supposed to. And so this kind of small detail is what I've been doing. So, I'm spending hours doing these kinds of small details. Uh, and so it's hard to look like I've got any real work done. I don't know how you guys that work so small do it. Uh, I like to see progress. Um, and wow, it's just not easy. Let's see here. Frosty, you'll sing? I could, if I weren't coughing so much. I have a decent voice, although I call myself a pew singer than someone who gets up on stage. Wow, 50 paintings. Wow. Do you do it full time, Frosty? Do you do artwork full time? You probably said it as much in a video in the past, and I probably missed that. Uh, but yeah, I can't do this full time. I can only do it at night, and I'm not seeing my live stream in the background because I'm looking at my source picture right now in full camera. Okay, so believe it or not, the source picture has this forward foot blurred, and the foot behind it actually has more focus. I need to, uh, this is too small. I go from big to too small. Let me see if I can do this one. Let's see. So yeah, I got a lot of very bright yellows and oranges because of the sunlight coming over. uh, how many years? Well, painting actively like this and I have been painting for about 2 years. Uh, actively like this. Like I said, I got a degree in art right out of in college, which was decades ago. I did paintings for classes, but I never did any paintings for artwork of any kind because I went straight into getting married and having kids. And so therefore, I didn't have a chance to do anything with my art. And even if um, I had that opportunity, I wouldn't have known what to do because, again, my art school did not teach how to market yourself. Did not teach at all how to market yourself. They talked, a little bit about portfolios and then getting your portfolio done in your senior project for the senior art uh, show done, and that was it. After that, you were kind of on your own. You didn't have that kind of thing. So, well, thank you very much. Your first painting was November of 2020, Frosty. Wow. So 5 years of painting. Wow. And you've had that many going. That's awesome. That's awesome. I I'm trying to get this is a good conversation segue because I gotta clean this brush off. I was looking into the art shows. Okay, 2021. We're all kind of recent starters, aren't we? Um, I was looking into the art festivals, the very art-centric ones, and it's through an app called Zapp, Z-A-P-P. So if you're interested in doing art festivals in the future or whatever, I guess that's a premier app that's used by a lot of art festival organizers to not only um, advertise the thing, but vet um, artists for the event and uh, and do the applications, collect the fees, and what have you. And And they also have all those rules. And this is a tricky area, by the way, because it's, like I said, blurred. So I have to kind of make it up as I go here. Um, you have to have, in many cases, a specific kind of tent, not pop-up, which is what I have, is a pop-up, because that's the most cost effective for me. I need to bring this over here. And then you have to have all your artwork on your art walls. Have to, wow, 138 paintings. Holy cow. God bless it. You must do it full time then, right? And Fennel? Nancy, right? Uh, to be able to do that many in that short of time, that's a lot of paintings. I'm impressed. Uh, totally impressed by that. I don't know if I could do that full time. Maybe it's because I don't work as fast. I don't know. That is serious, Frosty. Let's see here. Okay. All right. So I got dark areas on this leg. I need to really define that. And I got back here is a foot from the lady back here. And it's so hard to see. But her foot comes out here. Yeah, such a wonky part of this canvas right here. I tell you. Speaking of wonky, I wonder if she's going to join in. She joined last week on Wednesday. Really need to get these darks coming in. That's better than what it was. But as I was saying about the art festivals, you have to, your art walls, the tent walls rather, for your tent have to have all original work. It can only be in the medium that you apply for. Excuse me, apply for and successfully jury through. Yes, Nancy. Okay. 4 to 6 hours. Wow. Congratulations, Nancy, on that. Because I have to say, um, I'd like to say that I would want to be able to do that. Um, but then sometimes I struggle um, staying focused in what I'm doing. I don't know how you are staying focused or not, um, but sometimes I struggle staying focused, and so or I get really burnt out on working on one area. So I tend to like, oh, I got to take a break. Oh, I got to take a break, which is code for I'm frustrated and I can't do this. That's a little better. It's just so hard to make this up as you go along. I think the background also needs more blue. Let's see here. Different brush. And anyway, the art festivals say that you have to have um, all original artwork on the art tent walls. It has to be only in the um, mediums that you successfully juried in your application for. So I don't have enough right now of any one kind of medium to fill all 3 tent walls. Can you guys see what I'm working on? Okay. And so, like, they have 2D mixed media, 3D mixed media. They have um, acrylic and oil painting, and then like the watercolor painting, 2D stuff. So, um, and I look at my body of work such as it is right now, and I don't have enough of any one medium style to fill up all 3 art walls. Yeah. And then you're paying like anywhere from $45 to $55 of in a um, application fee. And then you have, if you jury successfully, okay, you then have to um, pay anywhere from like $200 to $300, upwards of $600 to $700 for the space to put your tent up in. And these are usually for 2 or 3 day art festivals. So not only do you have to have an expensive tent, you have to have enough artwork to um, um, put up on your walls. Because like if I have enough artwork, I think, over 2 or 3 mediums to cover my art walls. But nothing says that I will successfully jury in all the mediums that I apply for. And so if I apply for oil and acrylic painting and then let's say watercolor, and I successfully jury in acrylic and oil painting, but not watercolor, right off the bat, I don't have enough artwork. So I'm going to focus on the painting with oil and acrylic, although I love mixed media collage. That would be a 2D mixed media, not the same category. And then, of course, I love watercolor. Those are my main ones. Although I hate that they penalize an artist who dabbles in all the disciplined mediums, okay? Unless you've got a body of work in all of them and you can apply for all of them, which they don't allow for. So I'm a little annoyed by it, but at the same time, it keeps people who are unserious out. I'm serious. I'm just not as developed. You guys clearly got way more paintings, and you like to work in a singular or a couple of mediums, but you guys really kind of have figured out your shtick, so to speak. And I guess I haven't. And so I feel behind. And just when I think I can start doing something, I really don't, I'm not there yet because I'm reading these rules and regulations and I'm not there. Just that simple. And so it's like, I gotta get there. There's a lot of folds in these dresses, and they're not exactly white, but they are light. So I don't have the pure white here. Well, and that's great that you can do that, Nancy. I don't have enough wall space, I don't think. Successfully. Oh, I'm sorry, Frosty. I didn't see your So juried means that you have to apply. So, like art galleries, like exhibitions, like the one I just picked up my 3 artworks from that went from September to October. You have to submit an application, pictures of your artwork. So you have to have good pictures of your artwork. And then what happens is they have somebody come in, supposedly an expert in the field, so some other artist or whatever, and they tell you who it is. And I never looked that person up. I never looked to see what their biases are, because I'm like, I'm not going to do that game. But in any case, and then they'll get back to you and say, yes, this artwork's made it, or this artwork hasn't. So it's essentially approval process, what is a juried process. So you can apply for watercolor painting to these art festivals on one application. But if you want to apply for something like this, excuse me, for acrylic and oil, let's say, that's another application. So $45 application fee, $45 application fee, and there's no guarantee that you would get approved for both. You might get approved for one and not the other, or vice versa, or you might get approved for both, or you might not make it. They may say, no, you're not as good as the other jury pool. So that's what the successfully juried means when I say that. uh, a lot of people in my life are very confident that I would successfully jury. But when I read some of the details from these, I need my, I don't know what I did with my little stick here. Um, they'll have like 500 applicants for these festivals, but they'll only accept 150, right? So that's why they jury it, because uh, they can't accept everyone that comes in. And not everyone who wants to come in follows the rules, because apparently they've developed these strict rules uh, over time because people don't follow them. That's my only thought process in this, is that people don't follow the rules, so they have to get strict. Because if you show up, let's say you apply for 2 different mediums, you successfully jury in one, but then you come to the event and you put up all your artwork of all different mediums, and one of the jurors or art festival management types come around and see and remember that you did not apply for watercolor, but you got watercolor up, they will essentially tell you to leave, and you don't get your money back, that type of thing. Uh, I'm trying, Nancy, to kind of go back to what you said. You don't sell yours, which is great that you don't have to, let's say. I'm assuming you don't have to. I could be wrong, and I apologize if I am. But I, you know, I was trying to do this, um, and I'm still going to try. I'm not going to give up yet. I just got to put the work in part time. Um, I want to sell artwork as a side gig, as a part-time job, so that I'm making a little extra money, because my budget is at its limit. I'm salaried in my day job. I don't have um, I don't have the ability to get overtime because I'm salaried. I tried to apply for jobs, uh, part-time jobs, even at my local grocery store. I tried to apply just to work weekends, um, and I never got the call. And I could easily work at a grocery store. I'm a professional buyer by day in manufacturing, so I can do those things. Um, I can do a lot of things I'm very good at. I I handle inventories in my job. I manage a lot of different things, and I could do it. But part time, I guess, is not what they're looking for. And I'm not going to quit my current day job for a grocery store full time job. I'm just looking to get some extra income because I've hit my budget limit and my costs keep going up even now. Like the house insurance, the property taxes, all of that keeps going up. In fact, I have a hearing in the end of November to try to fight my property tax increase. I have to. I don't have any choice. I have to try to fight it because if I don't, um, I won't. I won't be able to stay in my house. You know what I mean? So I'm trying real hard, and I don't want Ron to have to go to work when he's been working on his project for so long and he's so close. So I'm trying to find alternatives, and I'm like, well, I've got this. I'd like to. Um, I'd like to make something of this, and that's no small or easy task. This dress has an edging, and I'm not getting it dark enough. I can tell. The sun's coming through here. That back foot back there. I think these feet came forward a little bit better, which is good. Anyway, hard to see because it's blurred. Yeah, yeah. Well, I would love to do the art festivals as pains in the back sides as they appear to be, um, because I hear you can really sell some some paintings or a lot of prints, and I would like to be able to do that and make some money back. Um, I I love painting. I don't want it to be just a job. Um, but a lot of people are like, well, have you thought about commissions? Well, yeah, I've thought about commissions, but one, I've never been taught how to handle commissions in a legal sense. So um, I don't have a form I can use. I'd like to try to form. I'd like to try to, and I wouldn't be able to necessarily um, do a lot of commissions being part time. Uh, I have given away paintings to family and friends because, one, that's a gift I can give that I don't have to spend a lot of money on because I don't have a lot of money. But it's also handmade by me, which gives it a specialness that don't come with buying just gifts from any old place, right? So I like doing that, but I'm not going to do that every year, right? I can't do that every year. So I gotta come up with other ideas for that. Yeah, you can probably hear it in my voice a little bit how deflated I feel sometimes talking about it and how much I have to overcome in a part-time sense. And that's difficult because, I got people who are really supportive of me, my dad, my sons, and they get a little disappointed when I say I can't do something. And then I tell them why, and they get frustrated on my behalf. I'm like, welcome to the party. I'm frustrated too. Um, so it's like, okay, I'll just keep working on it. That's all I can do, right? I just got to keep pumping out paintings. So my idea is I'll do a lot of these bigger paintings that'll fill up my tent walls, and then a lot of little paintings. But I think there's a catch 22 with that. Um, so I don't know. That's a smaller foot, so I need to make this smaller. They're pointing their toe here. There's a lot of shadow on this foot and leg. But anyhow, yeah, so, I can't find a part-time job that's worth the gas and time to drive to on a weekend or at nights. And if I do that, then there'll never be any time for me to do artwork. Um, and so I gave up on finding the part-time job kind of thing. I decided I was going to try to make a go of the artwork. And that's what you see me doing now. I'm working on it, trying to get there. I got to do more than a painting a month if I want to get anywhere for next year, though. Yeah, well, I know that professional artists, when it comes to commissions, they have a contract because they've been stiffed before, where you have to kind of pay at least like half up front and then you pay the rest before they send it, and I think that's probably actually required if an artist wants to um, do commissions, because people will say they want this and that, and then when it comes time to pay, something changes. And I've heard horror stories. Who's RHE? I'm sorry, I missed a boat somewhere along the way. Who's RHE, guys? Yeah, it's looking a little better, I have to say. Red-headed eagle. Okay, gotcha. That makes sense. Um, I take pictures with a camera. I also I use what's that? Pexels.com a lot for inspiration, and sometimes I'll take a picture from that and I'll modify it somewhat. Like this painting here. This painting is based off of a Pexels picture that I saw. The original picture does not have this color scheme, and the dancers are in reverse. So um, I do try to change it up for my paintings, and not just do an exact copy or whatever. I'm not cleaning my brush off. I need to clean my brush off. Yeah, this lighting is so difficult with all the colors I see in this thing. So what I did is, like I said, I reversed the image of the original photo, and then I played with filters, color filters, so I can get a blue orangey kind of palette for this. But then when you really look closely at the photograph, as it is now, as I have it, Yeah, my paints are too set now. I need to clean these up. Um, it makes it a different thing altogether. So I feel like I'm not just copying somebody's photograph. I don't ever want to do that unless it's my own, which I haven't taken photographs in a while. Last time I did was of my sister-in-law's wedding a couple of years ago. Um, with I ended up being the de facto photographer for that. I'm a hobbyist. I don't have professional skill in photography, um, but it turned out okay. I did a lot of practicing with my Olympus and at the venue and with my camera. My husband, of course, being the good guy that he is, was my model for practicing my photography stint for my sister-in-law's wedding. Um, that was also the first time I made a wedding cake. That was her original request of me, was to make a wedding cake for her. And I'm like, I don't know how you think I'm suddenly a person to ask to make a wedding cake. I'm not a baker. I don't do it on, I mean, I've made cakes, but just regular cakes, birthday cakes, nothing fancy. But she asked me to make her cake for her. So I ended up practicing making, I made about 3 different cakes over 3 different months to practice. I had to do a taste testing of the kind of cake she wanted. I mean, I did the whole kit and caboodle for not really knowing what the heck I was doing. So it turned out okay. I hired an Etsy artist who makes sugar flowers, sculpted flowers made out of sugar, um, who made the roses and sunflowers for me for the cake, which was great because it turned out really pretty. They did a good job, and they happened to be a local Etsy artist. Uh, I actually met them in person by picking up those uh, those sugar flowers. It was awesome. She is amazing, amazing. So yeah, that's awesome. And you do such a good job with your rendering of the photographs that you use. It's amazing, your paintings, Nancy. I think they're awesome. Um, and I think you're an incredibly patient artist where I am not so much. So, uh, so yeah, I gotta get some more oranges here. Um, and I guess I'm not as patient. So working with small brushes, working small like this is killing me. And I think and one of the reasons why I'm doing the live stream is to keep me honest, keep me accountable to myself, to keep working on it. Because I get so frustrated working so small, but I want it to be so successful. Uh, so yeah, uh, I need to be disciplined when it comes to this painting. And boy, it is tough. And then part of me wants to set this one aside, come back to it later, and start working on my new one. And and to me, that's a cop out. I mean, I do have a second easel, and part of me back last year about this time thought I'll just work on 2 canvases at the same time. There's nothing wrong with that, um, except I don't have the space for two easels, so I have to. Oh, you're welcome. Yeah. Oh, the fireman. Yeah. Yeah, that's the next one I'm planning on working on. Again, that is a pexels.com image that I adopted. Uh, I reversed, mirror imaged the fireman, and then I played with filters and colors to get what I'm working on. I need to work on the background a little bit more, I think, on that, but I can't touch it yet. I promised myself I would finish this one. So I have to get to a point where I'm happy with these dresses and I'm happy with their arms. And then I've got to finish this one, this area right here. I realized I'm in the way of this painting, but I don't know how else I can get this camera up here. I could probably put it behind, but then I got other things in the way. I don't know. Anyhow, I I love this painting. I want it to come out well, and I'm just scared I'm going to screw it up. You know, the usual fears that I have about these types of things. Let's see. I got that. Back side of this heel. Again, those feet are not in focus in my photograph. I have to kind of make it up as I go along. All right. You're in the middle of 3 paintings. Wow. Thank you, Frosty, on that. Thank you, Nancy. Yeah, I need to let me bring up the reference photo for you bigger so you can see it. The source pic. Mouse is just killing me. All right. I'm going to put it up full size. Well, I'm going to show you the area that I've been working on by making it bigger. So can you see right in here? You see those feet? See how jumbled they are? um, you can see how bright orange and yellow the photo is, and that my camcorder actually is very washed out. It's not as bright on the painting as it is in the reference photo, but it's definitely brighter in person than it is on the camcorder. So the camcorder is definitely washing this out. But yeah, I need to get more oranges in here now that I'm looking at it in comparison to mine. What you see? Oh, I saw your International Space Station that you posted the other day. That's awesome. I like that. The whole space thing, Lady Hamilton Art got us going, didn't she? I tell you. I like the idea of doing some more space stuff. The only one I did was the live stream of the planets that that night we did the paint and sip. I haven't done any since. And the next closest thing that I've done even relatable is the night sky in the excavator painting that I did for my oldest son who's in construction. Painting an excavator. I need to get a little bit more orange, saturated orange in this without going wackadoodle. But you see how fuzzy, out of focus those feet are, and I'm trying to paint them. Of course, I got wet paint, dark wet paint. This is still not. Yeah. All this looks white, almost white in the camcorder. I wonder if I zoom in if that'll help. I don't know. But you see all the folds of the dresses too. Brighter, darker, brighter, darker. So yeah, definitely need to somehow manage to get some patience and just really get in there. But I think I got these feet a little better than they were when I started. Yeah. That's the other thing that scares me, Nancy, about commissions is that most times commissions you're going to have to rely on whoever's hiring you for a commission to give you a decent picture. And of course, that's probably what people have to put their foot down and say it's got to be a clear picture, can't be fuzzy, or you give us all kinds of artistic license to make it what it needs to be. Um, oh, that's better. I like that. I don't know. I would only be able to do. I guess my hesitation with commissions, as much as people suggest that I should do it, is that commissions would take time away from me building a body of work. And I need to create a body of work if I want to do art festivals. So, okay, so what am I going to do? Art festivals or commissions? And I don't really have people lining up asking for commissions from me. So, and that's okay. Um, I'm not unhappy about that. But man, I wouldn't be able to do it all. Now I feel like I'm mucking it up. But anyway, wanted you to see that source picture and the area I'm working on. Get this back to a smaller size. The hardest part's going to be this dress in the corner. You see, Nancy, if you see this, you love doing folds. Well, then you come on over here and do the folds for me. But you see, this part of the dress, the, all the way to the right. Let me move that over. You can see compared to my painting. So this dress is unbelievably challenging and a disaster for me. You can come to Georgia, Nancy. You come do these folds. Let me get a drink of water. I'm sorry for coughing in your ears. It's a photo, Nancy. It's a photo. Um, I could try to find the original photo from Pexels to show you how different it is from what. But yeah, this is going to be the thing that gets me until I'm done. And you see, she's got a foot here that's pointing away. She's got a foot in the foreground that's got to be dark and fading into the darkness of the foreground. She's got a leg here, and the far leg has sunshine, all this orange here. Oh my gosh, what a challenge. Let me see if I can find the original um, photograph so you can see the difference. But yeah, this is actually a photograph. of people. And I'm not sure if the photographer was, I'm going to put that up here for now, was far away with a telephoto or what, but it's definitely a photograph. Let's see, pixels. I'm looking at my original. I keep the original in case someone asks. I can say, okay, the original is from this user on pexels.com. The username is the, for references. I got my new glasses here and I'm trying to see better. Maybe I didn't save it there. Did I? Okay. What's that one? Okay. Let me see if I can't. I did a palette before I decided to do some of the changes on the original photograph. I used a program to give me a palette sampling of the colors in there, but I didn't go with it. But it'll show you the original. Hold on. Collage. Let me see if I can't load that up. I need a new image. Original. Okay. Whoops. Okay. So I'm going to make this smaller so you can see it. But this, what you're about to see, is the original photograph. It is not a painting. If it's a painting, then oh my God, I'm completely fooled. But I need to make it a little bit smaller. I can get up there. I was asking the program to give me a palette for this, but this was the original photograph. So what you see there is the original photograph. And then, so what I did with that is I've got a app on my phone called Pixlr, Pixlr, and I had it do a mirror reverse, and then I used some color filters on it to come up with the source pick that I'm using now, which is that one in the corner that I've shown. So, but that's the original that you're seeing. So yeah, but yeah. So, but you see why I like the blues and the oranges better. I don't know. I wanted to have something really colorful. You know, blue and orange are complementary. You know, the orange is the yellow and red mixed, offset against the blue, which is a really pleasing palette. You have the white dresses, but in the white dresses, there's all kinds of color. But when you look at it as a whole, you know they're white dresses, except for maybe this one. This one has a little bit more color to it in the original. Um, and so you kind of capture that. Paint what you see, not what you know. And of course, she's got the full force of, in the photograph, so you see my source picture in the upper right hand corner there. She is really orange because she's got the full force of the sunset or the sunrise on her. I'm assuming it's a sunset. And I still need to get more orange on her. But yeah. Well, thank you, Nancy. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm trying to do. There was in the original photograph, there's a guy walking by. You can see in between. Obviously, I didn't want him paint bombing my painting. He may have photobombed the photo, but he's not paint bombing my painting. So, but anyway, but yeah, so that's what I'm working on. I really mucked this up, I think. That's okay. I'm not worried about it. I can come back to it. I may just come over here and reset working on this. I got to get her bodice. Her bodice has more nuanced colors here. I need to do. I need to get her arm fixed. I was redoing some of the background here. And then, of course, I want to get more orange on her. This is essentially dry from the last time I touched, well, almost dry. Okay, maybe not so dry. But I am going to get that done. I'm going to get that figured out. This area is not going to intimidate me forever, just for most of the time. But yeah, at some point, I'll have to get to a point where I'm satisfied with how I've rendered the dresses, how I've rendered the feet, um, and then how I've rendered this portion, because at some point I've got to call it done, right? So that's, and I want to move on to my fireman painting, which is a smaller painting. It's a 24 by 30. Yeah, I think it's 24 by 30. Nancy, I don't think you were here last week. I'm going to show you the close-up of my fireman. Uh, no, yep, that's just me knocking things over because I got too much stuff in my art room here. Okay, so I'm going to take this down just a second so I can put the other one up. But yeah, you can see. Yep. All right. So here is, I'm going to back this up so you can see it better. Yeah, the colors are definitely washed out. Let me my mouse keeps thinking I'm double clicking. But yeah, so this is 24 by 30. Yeah. And this is the acrylic background that I started. And as I'm looking at the reference photo that I created, I wonder if I can show that to you too. Um, let's see here. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, this is acrylic right now. I've got a forest indicated. I got some abstract brushwork. This I did a acrylic paint wash, and then I came in with Q-tips and took up some of the paint. I did some drip work here, but I do think, based on my original source photo, I need to make some more forest here that comes down into this, that continues up behind, because the fireman's going to stand there. Let me see if I can find the photograph real quick, because I'm running up against my hour, and I try to keep it to an hour, but I want you guys to see what I'm working on. Pixels, I think it's, oh, no, is that it? That's the one. Okay. Let me see if I can switch out the source pic. Original properties. Browse. Here it is. All right, so here we go. Come on now. So this is the source photograph I created from the Pexels reference photo. So you see, you kind of see in that all the abstract mark making of the background, and a hint of forest, a hint of a distant landscape, and then you've got the the fireman in the foreground, and he's overseeing the whole landscape. So he's a forest fighter. So that's what I'm going to try to represent. But you can tell from the reference photo that up against him in front of his body is a forest that's not quite representative of what I'm doing in my painting here. So I need to put more forest here and bring it down through and have it continue up, because he's going to go right here, roughly. I have an outline of him to keep my proportions right. I'm just going to get an outline of him in there, and then I'm painting him at that point. But that is going to be my fireman. So yeah. And so acrylic's easy because you can get a background in, you can place things, and then you can come over it in oils and make it richer, more finished, more polished. I'm not worried about this stuff here because the fireman's going to be in front there, and I'm going to be painting him in oil. And I do want to, I got too much negative space here with nothing happening, even though I've got the hint of a distant landscape. Excuse me, I'm sorry. I do need to bring more forest in here. So I'm debating on doing that either with the acrylic or just go ahead and jump in with the oils and do that. But yeah, you see kind of where I'm going with it. So that's my started work in progress for the fireman that I want to start working on, but I promised myself I'd finish the dancers first. So yeah, and the dancers are really not that far away from being done, I don't think. I mean, when you look at my source picture and look at what I've been dealing with um, for it, this is the big stickler here. I got to finish up here. I got to clean this up for values, clean up the arms a little bit, get her a little bit more orange, because essentially the background's done, right? You know, your nephew is a forest fighter. That's awesome. Um, my nephew, who's going to be here this weekend, he lives out in California. He's been training to be a firefighter, I'm assuming for forest. So it's actually incidental. I wasn't thinking of my nephew when I was doing the firefighter. I was thinking of the Admirable Masculinity series I'm trying to do, where I'm using iconic figures of masculine men that are worthy of honor and respect and heroism to counter the whole toxic masculinity thing. But in any case, yeah. So I'm actually probably not that far off from getting this finished. I'm just in the nitty gritty details that I've got to really nail the values with all the colors that are in there. And then this, of course, is the elephant in my room. Um, but everything else is touch-ups, really. And then I can call this done. And then I can get to work on the fireman. So, but yeah, let me get my seat back over. But so yeah, I'm going to be focusing to kind of round out the conversation here in the live stream. I've been checking back and forth with YouTube just to see if anyone showed up. Not that I can tell, and that's okay. Um, Rumble's my place. um, but to kind of summarize what I have to do is I have to be nose to the grindstone. If I want to do the art festivals, and I at least want to try them for a year, I want to do, there's one in Chattanooga, which is the closest city to me, that happens in April. The deadline to do that one is the 31st of this month. I'm in no position to apply for that one yet because I don't have enough artwork. My two biggest roadblocks is my tent. For any festival that doesn't like pop-up tents, I have to get a professional tent, whatever that's going to be. and that's thousands of dollars. And then art, having a body of work in one or two mediums where I could potentially be able to do one medium out of the two on tent walls, and cover the tent walls sufficiently. Um, yes, I know I am. I'm very close with this. So whenever I get close to finishing a painting, I suddenly feel like I'm slowing down and in slow motion, as if the finish line keeps moving its goalposts. But that's just me in my head. But anyway, I got to do a lot more paintings, like oil over acrylic, and call that my acrylic oil painting medium for when I go to apply for a juried process in that particular category. So I need to get enough of these to cover 3 tent walls, both inside and outside. And I need to do the same for watercolors probably, because that's the next biggest thing I work in is watercolors. Um, no, Nancy, it's okay. I wanted to chat with people. I have been working on things. I actually got these feet a little better than what they were. They looked awful. I'm actually pretty happy with those. So don't worry about it. I do a lot of the talking too, and that's okay. This helps me process my challenges, bounces ideas off of you guys, um, and just to share my process. And I don't know, I just appreciate you guys coming and chatting with me, so I'm not here by myself. um, but but yeah, this isn't too far from being done. And I love this painting. I do, even if it's causing me a little frustration, because I love dancing. I was a dancer back in the day. I love the light. I love the colors. It's just so pretty. So I want to get that done. It's going to probably be one of my favorite paintings so far. Um, but yeah, I need to get a lot more paintings done if I'm going to do art festivals next year. So I've got to really crank them out, and I am only doing it part time at night, and on the weekends. And the weekends, and then my house suffers because I have to do chores. So yeah, it's not enough time in a day, not enough days in a week, not enough weeks in a year. The bane of my existence. Anyway, uh, but yeah, thanks for joining me and seeing me struggle, and knowing that when I do consider this finished, you'll know what it was that took me to get it to that finished state. There are fine details in the bodices that I am going to get done as well. Um, but yeah, I'm looking forward to finishing this one so I can start the other one, but because I want this done and I really, really like it. It's one of those ones I probably would want to keep, but if I could sell it, I will, because I need the cash. So budgets, I'm not the government. I can't just keep borrowing and pilfering money out the wazoo. They can apparently get away with it. I can't. My creditors won't let me get away with that. So gotta got a nose to grindstone it. But yes, it is. But once you've got all the foundational stuff, Nancy, like the tent, once you have a tent that's acceptable to all these art festivals, you don't have to spend that money again, providing you don't have a damaged tent or whatever. That's a one time expense. It's like a capital expense. And then when you do prints, what you have to call reproductions at these art festivals, you have to do it a certain printing style. Um, but when you find a printer that does those for inexpensive, let's say a $5 print, but people are willing to spend 15, you see the markup. But you have to have good work in order for someone to want to buy a print of it, right? So I need to have a lot more artwork, and then I need to have good prints, and I just need more time. And part time is what I've got to do. So I'm going to go back to this one. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead, and we're almost at 9:30. So, but thank you for joining me, Nancy, Frosty, and anyone else who's been watching and lurking in the background. I noticed there's 5 people watching. I know one of them's me, one of them's Frosty, one of them's Nancy. So I don't know who else is watching. And if you're lurking, thanks for joining us. You can always chat with us in Rumble. I did pay attention to YouTube in my browser, but no chat there. Anyway, uh, I'll be back again next Wednesday. I'll probably be working on this corner, the most challenging part. Maybe I'll be close to finish by then. And then, or maybe I finish and I'm already working on the fireman. Maybe we'll see. But if you follow me on True Social, you'll know exactly where I'm at. And Nancy, thanks for joining. And Frosty, of course, thank you. You're with me every Wednesday, it seems, and I am so grateful that you spend your time with me, talking with me, and sharing my process. Eventually, I will get the palette view again, so you can see what I'm doing on my palette. But one thing at a time. My learning curve is based on my time and everything else, but it's been fun. This keeps me honest. It keeps me working. So thank you for being my accountability team. And I look forward to November 15th. By the way, mark your calendars. November 15th is when Lady Hamilton will be interviewing me. And that happens to be my youngest son's birthday. So I'll be doing a special birthday shout out to him as well. So anyway, thank you again. Please like, subscribe, comment, and share all the usual stuff that is supposed to help the algorithm say, hey, look at stuff. You know, if you don't, that's okay. This is my accountability measure. But everyone, have a good night and have a good weekend ahead. And again, my spectacles, my new glasses, getting used to them still. All right, have a good night, everybody.